Hi, welcome to episode number 1 of Trading Talk with TradeView Investments. My name's Eddie, I'm one of the systems traders here. In these videos we're going to show you some concepts and techniques that you can take away and use for yourself to have more success in your own trading. In this first episode we're going to build a mean reversion system 3 different ways that yield 3 very different results, so I hope you enjoy. Also, we trade through IC markets, so we're able to offer viewers of these videos up to 25% discount on the already low IC markets rates. There's some information about that at the end of the video. So for now, enjoy episode 1 and I look forward to seeing you next week. All the best with your trading. Thanks.
So let's jump right into it. We'll start with our risk warning. So TradeView Investments is a corporate authorized rep of IC markets. This presentation, it's just for educational purposes only. Trading leverage product carries significant risks, so please bear that in mind when trading. Today's video is called It's the Techniques Used, Not the Technical Indicators. And what we're going to do today is we're going to build a mean reversion system, just a very simple mean reversion system with 3 different techniques. So I think you'll actually be surprised how changing just a few parameters will make a very big difference to the system. And these are things that not a lot of people think about when they're building themselves. So I hope you find it valuable. So a few things about this video. Again, what we're going to try and do is demonstrate a trading concept and the techniques used to trade it. What I really hope you do with this is you take the concept and you build your own models using the ideas. So if you want, you're more than welcome to copy the exact idea, but trading's about coming up with your own ideas and understanding how they work and obviously making money from the financial market. So I want you to take the idea, test it and make it your own. Also, I want to be able to show you guys that anybody out there can build models using a tool like EA Lab, which we've developed, and I'll show you how to build a simple one. I'll actually build it with you. Alright, so building a mean reversion system. First off, what is mean reversion? So with a mean reversion system, what market dynamics am I actually trying to take advantage of? Well, I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that price usually returns back to the average. So you can see here these arrows which I've just drawn in on the charts. Here is a moving average, and as you can see, once price gets to a certain point, there's a good possibility that it will return back to the average. Okay, so I've just cherry picked these points. What we really need to do, and I'll show you when we build this system, is that we need to come up with a way of calculating where these points are for our entry. So we'll show you that as we go along. Alright, so we're there already. So what do I need to calculate for this strategy, entry and exit? Well, first off, I want to find out what is the average or the mean in mean reversion. How do I measure it? Well, I already sort of talked about that. The average is, in this case, what we're going to use is a moving average. So this is it's actually a Bollinger Band here, which the middle band is a moving average. And it's a 40 period, so 40 period Bollinger Band and moving average. And then again, we want to know how far away from the average should the price move before entry. So this is a 2 standard deviation Bollinger Band, again 40 period. So you can see here, once the price gets to around about 2 standard deviations, it starts to retrace back to the average. Okay. So for this system, well, I'll tell you what the entry is. So we're just going to keep it very simple. So we're going to enter based on a few really basic conditions. So the first condition is if the bar closes above the upper Bollinger Band. So you can see here, we've got a bar close above the upper Bollinger Band. So this is for a sell trade or a short. All right. And the next part of the condition is the next bar needs to close below the upper Bollinger Band. So we've got one bar closing outside the band. The next bars are closed inside, so we're saying that, okay, we know that price has moved a fair distance away from the average, which we've calculated at 2 standard deviations, and we've had a close outside the band there, and then we've had a close back inside, so there's a good possibility that the price might retrace back to the average. We're going to exit this trade if the bar closes below the mid band, which is the moving average. So the price has moved away from the average to the upper Bollinger Band, price is retraced back to the mean or the middle band, which is the moving average. And then when we get this close here below the middle band, that's when we're going to close the trade. Alright, so some things to consider. With the technique that we're going to, or the techniques that we're going to use, some things to consider. What size can we trade in? Alright. How many trades can I open at once? I don't know if you people only open one trade at once or if you have multiple trades open, but we need to know up front how many trades can we have open based on the size of the trade and the type of system that we're running. And I put this in there, how wrong can I be before it hurts? This is going to be different for everybody. So you can see in this scenario here, this is a daily chart of the Aussie dollar. You can see that our conditions for entry were met here for a buy trade. So we had the close outside the lower band with the close back inside. So according to the rules we just gave you, and we gave you the sell rules, but this is a buy trade, same rules but opposite. We would have entered this trade here and we wouldn't have got out of the trade until the bar had closed above that average or middle band. So it would have been down about 550 points. So depending on what size you trade in, depending on your account size, and depending on your tolerance for risk, can you handle that? Okay, so that's the type of thing that might happen with this kind of system, and that's what we're going to test as well. So these are things to be aware of. Alright, so I'll run through technique number one. We're going to show you 3 different techniques with the same entry and exit rules. So we're going to use EA Lab to build our strategy, which I touched on to start with. It's a tool that we've built and it will allow traders to build their models without any knowledge of programming. So you know, I can't program. A couple of the guys in the office can program. They run the support desk as well as trading. And Rob, the head trader who's built the whole firm, he can't program either. Alright, so we use EA Lab to build our models. So first we'll just revisit the rules. Okay, so for a buy trade, we need the bar to close lower than the lower Bollinger Band, and then we need the next bar to close above the lower Bollinger Band. And a sell trade is the opposite. We're going to exit if the bar closes above or below, depending whether it was a buy or sell trade, the middle band or the moving average. Alright, we've got those rules again. Okay, so for this first technique, number one, remember we said we have to consider a few things. So we need to consider the trade size. So for this example, what we're going to do is we're going to trade at 0.3. So if we're trading the Aussie dollar, which is what we're going to test it on, that's $3 per point. Okay. So every point the market moves, we'll make or lose $3. In this first model, we're going to only allow the system to open one trade at a time. So let's build it and test it. Okay, so EA Lab sits here in our member portal. So I'm just going to open EA Lab. So again, we use EA Lab to build our models. If you can't program, this is probably a really good option for you. If you can program, obviously you can just build things yourself. The guys, we do have some programmers in the office, and even the programmers build with EA Lab now because they can do things a lot quicker. So if you can't program like me, you need EA Lab. Alright, so first I've made a file here, just a blank one. I've called it BB Trade, Bollinger Band Trade, version 1.1. I have actually built this one before, so this is version 1.1. So the first condition that we had was we're only going to allow one trade to open at a time. So we're going to grab a logic block, an if block, and we're going to enter the first condition. So what we want to say is if the number of open trades is equal to 0, then we can allow a new trade to be opened. So we'll do that by going to the orders block, and we're going to use this block here. So we're going to say if the count of all long or short orders in profit or loss, so all long or short orders is equal to, I'm going to grab a value 0, then we can enter the trade. So that's the very first condition before we even look at the entry conditions. So if there's no long or short orders open. Now let's enter the first entry condition. So the first condition, what I'll do is I'll build the buy side first. So the first entry condition on the buy side was that the bar close was lower than the lower Bollinger Band. So we'll do it like this. Grab another block. If you're a programmer, you'll know about nesting functions, which is what we're doing here. If you're not a programmer, it doesn't matter. We can teach you guys how to do this. So if the bar close of shift 2, if you know what that means, fantastic. If you don't, again, we can explain that to you guys, is less than, so we need our Bollinger Bands, all the indicators are here, bands, and the bands period was 40, the deviation was 2, and we're looking at the lower band. Okay. That's the first part of the condition. So if the bar close of 2 bars back is lower than the Bollinger Band's 40 period, standard deviation of 2, and we're looking at the lower band. Then what we need to do is build the second part of the condition. So we need to say that if the bar close of the next bar, which is shift 1, is greater than the lower band. So what I can actually do, I can just duplicate this. So this is when you can start doing things really quickly. So the bar close of shift 1 is, actually, sorry, this should be 2 as well. Okay, if the bar close of shift 1 is greater than the band period of 40, deviation of 2, the lower band, and shift 1, so that's correct. So if those conditions are met, then what we're going to do is we're going to buy. So buy is in the entry. So remember, we were going to trade at $3 per point. So it's 0.3 for the forex pair, 0.3, and that's our lot size. So our stop loss and take profit, we don't have one for this system. We're going to exit based on the condition being met. The condition is if the bar close on the buy side is greater than the moving average or the middle Bollinger Band, same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to points. I'm going to take this out. So basically what I'm doing is I'm saying there's no stop loss or take profit because it's 0 points. Alright, so that's going to build the entry conditions for the buy side of the trade. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the exit conditions. So that's all the entry. So I'm going to build these exit conditions separately. Okay. So now we're going to exit if the bar close of the last bar is greater than the middle band. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this block here. To delete that one. Okay, so if the bar close is greater than, all this is going to be the same, but we're going to look for the middle band. That's the main, it's 0. Okay, so if that condition occurs, so basically what we've done, I'll just go through it. So first we've checked to see if there's any open orders. There's no open orders. So if that's true, then what we're going to do is we're going to check if the bar close of 2 bars previous is less than the lower Bollinger Band, and then on the next bar, if it's now greater than the lower Bollinger Band, we're going to buy. We're going to buy at $3 per point, 0.3 with no stop loss or take profit. And now this is going to be our entry condition, our exit condition, sorry. So if now we're in a trade and the bar closes greater than the middle Bollinger Band, which is the main, then what we're going to do is we're going to close all long orders, whether they're in profit or loss. Okay, so you can play around with this if you want to. You can only close the orders if they're in profit. For this model, we're just going to close if they're in profit or loss. So we're going to use this close order block. So we're going to close all long or short orders. Actually, we're just going to close all long orders. in profit or loss. Okay, so that's now the buy side of the system. So I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to go away and I'm going to build the short side of the system. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate these and change it over, and I'm going to come back and I'll show you how to download and test it. Alright, so bear with me, I'll come back in 1 second. Okay, I'm back, and guess what? I actually found a mistake in something that I had built already. So you probably won't find it, I'll just tell you what it is. Here I'd said to start with, it was right at the very start. If we're going to look at just to make sure that no long or short orders are open, whether they're in profit or loss, but we only want to look at long orders on the long side. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone and built the short side, so we ran through the long side, but let's double check this together. So now we're also going to check on the short side, on the sell side. So we're going to see and make sure that all short orders in profit or loss equals 0. So there's no open short trades because we're only allowing it to open one short trade at a time. So we can have one long and one short open at the same time, but we can't have more than one of each. So if the bar close of 2 bars back is now greater than the upper band, and then the next bar, so shift 1, is less than the upper Bollinger Band, we're going to sell at $3 per point, 0.3, no stop loss or take profit. We're going to close the trade if the bar close is less than the middle band on the Bollinger Bands. So we're going to close all short orders, whether they're in profit or loss. Alright, so I mean, you saw how long it took to build the first side. With you guys, it took me probably about half the time to do it by myself and just double check it. So you can see you can build things really quickly. If you can program, you can actually view the code here. And that's all of it. I can't program, doesn't mean a lot to me. Alright, so all you need to do now is just download that. So you can see it's down here, BB Trade v1.1. I'm going to open this up and compile it. So if you've already built EAs, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, I mean, again, we can show you guys how to do this stuff. It's pretty easy once you've done it a few times. I'm pretty confident I could show anybody how to do this. I'm going to compile it, make sure there is 0 errors. Fantastic, I love when that happens. We'll close that. We'll go to MT4 to backtest it. Okay, so let's have a look. So that should be in there. There it is, BB Trade v1.1. So we'll open that up. Okay, fantastic. So what I've done, I'm going to put it in visual mode so we can actually see it place the trades. I built this model last year. I did another presentation, so I've just kept everything the same. That presentation I did probably mid-December, and I ran it from the 1st of January 2016 to the 1st of December 2016, which was basically when I presented it. So if you guys want to build this system for yourself, you're more than welcome to test it on any time period you like and see how it performs. Okay, let's see how we go. So first thing I'm going to do when I run this, I'm actually just going to check and make sure it does place the trades correctly, because no point going on if we've got that incorrect. So here we are, we're testing on the Aussie dollar, testing on a 5-minute chart. Let's see how we go. Okay, alright, so it's placed one sell trade, so I'm just going to check. This to me looks like the conditions are correct. So it's selling at $3 per point, that's correct. The condition was met here, so we had a close above the upper band, and then we had it on the next bar, a close below, and then on the bar after that, so once that close occurred, we opened the sell trade. So that condition is definitely correct. Alright, so we'll let that run through. Alright, so right, okay, there we go. So we closed that trade out. So we had here the close below the middle band, so that was the condition to close the trade, so that was correct. That one was a losing trade because the band was higher than the entry point. Okay, so we can have a bit of a look. There you go, we lost about 30 bucks. Alright, so I'll let it play through. I'll just check the buy side. Hopefully one comes up pretty quickly. So there we go, and there's another sell. Alright. See if we can find a buy trade. I'll speed this up a little bit. That was a profitable sell trade. Okay, there's a buy trade. So either close below, close above, buy. That's correct, fantastic. Okay, should exit the trade soon, maybe not. Okay, we'll just let that play through. Alright, there we go. So now we've got the close above the middle band. That's a condition to exit the buy trade. So again, unfortunately, that was a losing trade, but the conditions in the execution was correct. So if we have a look at the results here, we're now down about, what's that, $80 or something like that. You can also have a look at the graph here. Not good after a few trades, but it's only a few trades. So what I'll do, I'm just going to speed this up. We know that it's placing the trades correctly. Let's just see how it performs at the end. So let that run through. You might be able to watch the graph. Sometimes in MT4 the graph can keep up with the, sometimes it can't. Alright, there you go. I'll just let that run all the way through. Where are we at? Okay. Nearly there. Just about finished. What do you think? You think we made money? Let's have a look. Okay, we didn't make money. How did it actually perform? I mean, we go into a lot of analysis on this kind of stuff, but just to give you a quick analysis, we had about a 15% drawdown, not very good. Overall, we lost about $900. I mean, would you trade that? No, didn't make any money, okay? And had, I think, quite a big drawdown. I'm not comfortable with 15%. And didn't make any money. So what we found out, that model on that time frame and that product, it just doesn't work, okay? So we can go through and we can find out why it doesn't work. I mean, I can give you a pretty good idea now. It's basically because of the fact that we're not going to close any trades until the price is greater than the upper band. So you do get things like this where you have quite big losses, okay? So that's probably why it doesn't work. So that was technique number one. Does not work. All right, let's go have a look at technique number two. All right, there was number one. So just to recap, we traded at $3 per point. We had up to one trade open at once. All right, so number two. So you can pause this if you like and read, but the conditions are exactly the same for the entry. Okay, so this time the trade size is going to be a little bit smaller, so 0.1. And what we're going to do on this model is, so the entries and exits exactly the same, except the trade size is going to be a bit smaller. But what we're going to do is we're going to allow up to 3 trades open. So when 3 trades are open, we'll be trading at 0.3, which was the same size as before. So the maximum trade size still the same. Okay. We're going to allow up to 3 trades open, but each trade must be further away from the average than the previous. So if the price is moving down, we can't enter another. We can allow up to 3 trades, but we can't enter another trade unless it's lower than the first one, so further from the average. And on the sell side, it has to be higher than the previous trade. Let's build and test this one. So we'll go back to EA Lab. Okay. I'm going to cheat a little bit with this one because it's a little bit more involved to build. Again, this stuff we can show you guys. The simple system, pretty easy to do. This one just takes a little bit more time, and you have to be familiar with EA Lab. So here it is here. It's called BB Trade V2. So I'm just going to show you a few things quickly that I did here. A few things that I did is I put some variables in. So I put a variable in for maximum amount of trades, so we can play around with that in the tester. And also what I've done is I've built in some functions. So once you start building things that are a little bit more complex, you can make the model a lot neater and a lot easier to understand by building in some functions. So I've built a function here to check the long side. So we can expand that block. I'll just move this over. Okay. So this is a little bit more involved, but again, we can help people to do this. We'll help people build any model they want to build. So if you come up with the idea, we'll help you to build it. So here's a function to check the long side. And then what I've done is I've put that function in here. Okay. So no need to worry too much about it. So I'll just collapse that. So it just makes things a bit neater and a bit easier to work with. All right. So what I'll do, I've built this one. I'm going to download it and test it. Actually, again, I've already prepared these, so I have downloaded this already. We'll go to our MT4 and we can test it. Alright. So it's this one, BB Trade V2. Also, it's really important to name your models correctly. So when you are trying to find them, they're not all over the place. All right, let's test this first, just so you can see that that it does actually trade according to the rules. Let's run it through on visual mode again, just to make sure. All right. So you know I haven't just built a completely different system, and I'm just running that now. All right. Okay. You know what? I can see a problem here. It's trading at 0.03, which it shouldn't be. It should be trading at 0.1. So let's go have a look what's happening there. I'm going to go to the expert properties. Okay. So here in the expert properties, we've said maximum trades is equal to 3, but we've said that the lot size is 0.03. That was incorrect. It should be 0.1. Hey, there you go. Hence why we test it, just to see. Okay. So let's run that again. Get rid of it. Oh, we'll just start again. Okay, let's have a look. See, I don't always get it right either. Alright, so this one's placed the trade here. So we know that's correct, so that's the same conditions as before. It did enter on the same trade, opened here, closed here, fantastic. What should happen on this one though, is it should open another trade as well, or it should allow it to if this one doesn't get closed out, so we'll see. Let me pause it for 1 second. I forgot to add, there is one other condition that we did add to this. The other condition was that at least one of the trades that are open needs to be in profit for the trades to be closed out, and then it will close all trades out. So see here, we didn't get that close when we closed below the middle band. That's because it wasn't in profit. So at least one of the trades needs to be in profit to close out all three. That's the rules of this system. Okay. So let's open another one at the same size, that's correct. Okay, so this trade has closed in profit. So because that trade has closed in profit, we're allowed to close out both. So let's see what happens now with the results. So we closed one out for a loss of $21 and one out for a profit of $3. So we're still down 17 overall. You know, that's only two trades. We'll see what happens. Okay. So we can quickly just see the buy side. So that buy condition there is correct. Close below, close above. Okay. So now we haven't closed this trade out. Remember that one was a big loser down here. So let's see what happens with this one. We've opened a second trade here. Okay, we've opened a third trade here. So that's all the trades it's allowed to open. And we're going to close out when at least one of the trades is in profit. So we didn't close there because none were in profit. So we need to at least close above this level here. Okay, there you go. So now we've closed out all three. So this one's profitable and these two are going to be losers. But they're going to be smaller losers than they were before. What did that give us? Okay, so we've lost about 20 bucks, made $3, okay? We can have a quick look at the graph. Still so far, not so good. What I'll do, I'll just run this through fast without visual mode. I'm going to stop this. I'll take visual mode off. So you can see, by the way, it's the same time period. Haven't changed the time period. I haven't changed anything except for those rules that I said. Let's run it through. Let's have a look at the graph. What do you think? All right, not too bad, huh? Completely different result to before. So this one was a profitable system. You can see we did have some periods of small drawdown here, but that's not too bad. Let's have a look at the report quickly. Again, we do some detailed analysis on this, but just to give you a quick overview, we had 6.4% drawdown. Not too bad, right, for a really basic model. And we made $3,430 on a $10,000 account, so that's 34.3%. Over a year, I mean, would you be happy with 34%? Absolutely. Well, I think so. I would be really happy with 34% from one model over a year with 6% drawdown. Okay, so this has got some potential. This is something we can work with, and we can start to test on a demo and maybe on a small live account. Okay, so that one successful, fantastic. Let's go and build model number 3, or let's have a look at it. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do on this one, so the rules are the same. Okay, look. So this one, what we're going to do is we're going to trade at 0.04. So it's only 40 cents per point. So we went from $3 per point with 1 trade open to $1 per point with 3 trades open. So both still maximum trade size of $3. And this one we're going to start trading at 0.04, 40 cents per point. And this one we're going to martingale. Okay, so martingales are a more risky type of system. If you're not familiar with the type of system, what it involves is doubling up on the trade size every time you have a losing trade. The next trade you're going to double it up. Okay, so if you start at $1 per point, you're going to go 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. You can see how that can get out of control really quickly. In this model though, we're going to restrict some of that. So whilst martingales can be a risky model, in this particular model, we're going to reduce the risk by only allowing it to open up to 3 trades. And again, each trade must be further from the average than the previous. We're going to put that same rule in that we did in the others, where we said that we can't close out a trade unless at least one of them is profitable. So what will happen is, in this type of model, the first trade you take at 0.04 is profitable, fantastic, we make money. If the second trade is profitable and the first trade is a loser, the second trade is in twice the size, so there's a good possibility that it might actually make up more money than the loser, or it might come pretty close to breaking it even. And same again with the third trade. All right. Let's build and test it. Oh, by the way, before we do that, let's just do the same calculation we did before. So we went on the first system up to $3 per point. The second one, 3 times $1. So again, $3. So this one, let's work it out. So 0.4, so 40 cents. If we double it on the next trade, we're going to have a 40 cent trade open and an 80 cent trade, so $1.20. If we double the 80 cent trade, it's $1.60. So we've got $1.20 plus $1.60 is $2.80. So it's a little bit smaller in size than the previous ones. So $2.80 is the maximum exposure per point that we're going to have with this model. All right, let's have a look. Again, this one, it's a little bit more complex again. But it's not too hard once you've actually had a bit of practice building these things. So again, here's the conditions. This is called BB Trade V3. We've done the same thing here where we've used the variables and we built them in here. I'll just move that out of the way. So you can see I've built the sell side variables in here. Excuse me, I've built the long side variables in here. So also what's really cool with EA Lab is once you actually build the first model, you can duplicate that model and then just make the changes. So it was a little bit of a step from model 1 to model 2, but it wasn't actually a very big step from model 2 to model 3. Okay, so I've downloaded this one as well. All right, we'll go through. Let's have a look. Put it in visual mode. I'll do this for everyone so you know that we know that it works. All right, so let's just check and make sure it places the trades correctly. I have built this, so I do know it does, but I just want to prove to you guys so you know that I'm telling you the truth. All right, so we've got a sell trade in 0.1. Let me just, no, you know what, no, it's all right, we'll keep running it. So we've got a sell trade at 0.1, so that was, actually that's incorrect, remember, because we're going to start at 0.04. So let's stop that. Let's go to our expert properties. We'll change that now. So max trades is 3. That's correct. We'll want to trade at 0.04. Okay. We'll start up again. See, lucky we checked. All right, 0.04. Fantastic. So the next trade's going to open up at 0.08. So it's going to open in the same place as it did on the previous one. So I know we're going to open another sell. So we haven't closed this one because none of the trades are in profit, even though okay, there we go, 0.08, fantastic. So we've doubled. right. Let's see what happens when we close this one. There we go. Okay, so we've closed it. So we've got one winning trade and one losing trade. Now before, you have to go back and rewind the video or build this for yourself, but I think we had something like $20 losing trade and $3 winning trade. So we're down about $17. Let's see what happens on this one. So on this one here, okay, so we're only down $8 and we made 2. So two and a half, so it's about $6. All right, so we're down about $6 as opposed to down 17. So that's a better outcome already with this type of model. All right, we'll let this run through. We'll check the buy side, and I know it's going to open 3 trades, so we can make sure that it does this correctly. So we've gone 0.04, 0.08. The next one will be 0.16. Okay, ready? See, 0.16. Fantastic. Let's see what happens. So again, I can't remember the dollar value outcome, but I know we lost money on that series of trades. Let's see what happens when this one closes. Okay, we'll get there. All right, so here, one winning trade. So the winning trade was the bigger size trade, 0.16, and the 2 losing trades were smaller size trades. Let's see what happened overall in that sequence of trades. All right. So we've got $6.30, $2.90. It was about $10 and about $5 profit. So we lost about $5. So again, I can't remember what it was from before. You'll have to go back and check the video, but I think it was about $20. So again, we've only lost $5 as opposed to 20. So that's a better outcome so far. So you start to see how this model works. So the idea of trading, guys, is to build these models, understand how they work, and then decide how you're going to trade them. So there's many, many more things I can do with these models. We do use some indicators, but we don't use a lot of indicators. They're more on a secondary basis. The way I would calculate this for my models is a little bit more mathematical, but you can definitely start with things like a Bollinger Band or this simple model, start to understand the concept, and look, as you saw before, this actually produced really good results. This is a tradable system if you understand it and you test it correctly and you're comfortable using it. But there's many, many different ways you can do mean reversion. I just want to show you some of the techniques that you can use. All right, so hopefully you understand what's going on here. All right, what I'll do, I'm just going to stop this one. I'm going to take it off visual mode. All right, let's have a look. Look at that, fantastic, another profitable model. So it was really similar. You can see this behaves similar to the one that we did previously, where we allowed it to take 3 trades and didn't close out unless one was profitable. But actually, we can have a look at the results. There's a little bit of drawdown here, which you can see. Have a look at the report. So it made a little bit more money. The other one was 3,400, 34%. This one was 3,700, 37%. Around about the same drawdown. So this one had 6. The other one I think was about 6.5. So you can see this model works in a really similar way. All right. So what we've been able to do, we've been able to take a really basic concept and build 3 different models based on the concept, and we've been able to get 2 of them to work. So it's up to you. Now you can sort of play around with this stuff. I want to show you something just for fun. All right. Let's see what happens. This is a really cool thing about modeling, guys. All right. What if we want to allow this to take up to 10 trades? All right. So it's going to go 0.4, 0.8, 1.6, 0.16. 0.32, 0.64, you get the idea. All right, so it's going to double up a lot more times, 10 times. Let's do that, see what happens. All right, but still starting at the same size. We know this works, so I'll just run it without visual mode, see what happens. Check it out. Okay, so cruising. This is a problem with martingaling when you end up in big size. So we got to fantastic $21,000, doubled the account, but then we obviously were in a drawdown and didn't close out some of the losing trades, and then obviously the tester will close them out at the end because it's still open, so we had about 80% drawdown. So you can see how martingale can be a dangerous type of system, but what we did in the model that we ran, we restricted it by only allowing it to open up to 3 trades, so only doubling twice. Okay, so that's pretty cool. What if we do this? Look, one more thing. Let's try this. See, once you start building, you get a bit excited. All right, 0.01, 10 cents per point with 10 trades open. Let's see if it makes any difference. Not really. It was worse than before. Okay, fantastic. One other thing to just take note of, we took a lot of trades here. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to do with the martingale again. Let's have a quick look. So let's put it back to the way it was. Let's go 3 trades maximum, 0.04 to start with. So this is what it was before when it worked. Just want to see how many trades it took because we didn't have a look before. So it actually took, report, number of trades, total trades here, 1,733. So a question that people always ask me is, well, how long do I test for? Well, that was a year. That's a pretty decent sample size on 5 minutes. It took 1,700 trades. For me, I think you're going to get a pretty good idea of how that model behaves after a year on a 5-minute time frame and about 1,700 trades. So I'm okay with that. All right, we'll come back here. All right, so we built and tested that one. So we found that model number 1. Let's go here. Well, let me ask you guys, which technique do you like best and why? The first one, I don't like it. It didn't make any money. It had a big drawdown. It was terrible. All right. The second one, I mean, it made money. It had a low drawdown. I think that's something that we can work with. The third one behaved very similar to the second one, so I feel pretty much the same way. I think that's something that you can work with. Again, this is not going to work on all time frames. It's not going to work on all products, and it's not going to work through all market conditions. Okay. I think I'll put a question in here somewhere. So what other techniques could we use in these strategies? There's many different things we can use. Okay. I want you guys to have a bit of a think about it and maybe apply that to your trading as well. Okay. So we used in this, just to sort of round it up now, I hope you guys can see that it's the techniques that you use in trading and not the technical indicators. We only used one indicator. We didn't put 12 indicators on the chart and try and wait for all these things to line up. We try and keep things really simple at TradeView. Okay, so we use the same maximum risk, that was the same, and we use the same entry and exit criteria. We use the same data set, but we use 3 different lot sizing techniques, right? If you want to call it that. And we produce very different results, which I'm sure you saw. Okay. What you're going to think about, I don't know if I put this question in there, well, maybe I didn't, anyway, let me go back. What you want to think about with this type of model is you want to think about where is it going to work and where is it not going to work. So with any mean reversion system, mean reversion works when price returns to the mean. If you have a time frame or a product where price is continuing in one direction, either up or down, this type of system might not work as well. So that's what you've got to test, okay? And if you want to take it to the next level, it's probably something you've got to work with us on because it's not that easy to figure out yourself, but you have to work out where you are in the cycle of the market, all right? And whether you want to run that system and how you want to run that system. So that's the next level again. That's the sort of stuff that we work with traders on, all right? So that brings me to this. If there's anybody out there that would like to work hands-on with us to develop their own systems with input from us, here's how we do it. Okay, so we do run some trader development programs. They are paid programs because they're at a much higher level, and we'll put a lot of time and effort into helping people develop their own models. So it works like this. We have an online intermediate workshop. We have a member portal and unlimited support, and we have a tool called EA Lab. The price of them is as follows. The intermediate workshop is 1,450 Australian dollars. The member portal and unlimited support. So you had a brief look at the portal where EA Lab was. We have a live chat, so you can talk to the traders live, forum, live TV, daily videos, weekly market briefs. One of the traders, Ali, does a fantastic monthly newsletter. And with your member portal access, we give you unlimited support for $49.95 a month. So you can call us up, email us, Skype us, and we'll continue to help you build your own trading models until they're successful. As long as you still pay for the portal, we'll help you even after they're successful with more models, okay? So if you want to work with us, we'll keep helping you until you succeed. And then EA Lab, I know some people have tools that they charge $1,000 for or more. we wanted to keep it pretty low cost, so it's $19.95 per month. It's just a subscription. Okay. All right. So basically, here's a few links to get to some stuff. If you are interested in doing one of the trader development programs, well, I'll show you in a sec, but you can contact me here, edwin.cornelison@tradeview.com.au. I'm really keen to hear any feedback on the video. This is the first video, so I want to try and make one a week, and I definitely want to improve each video. So if you've got any comments or feedback on the video, I would love to hear them. If there's anything that you want me to talk about, then I would love to hear that. Because I'm going to try and make one, like I said, one a week. So the more ideas and the more that I know that you want to hear, the better. Okay. If you want to purchase a trader development course and you start getting really serious and building some good models with our help, you can do it through here. I'll put the links up in YouTube, so I'll figure out how to do that. Either I'll put it in this video or I'll put it in the notes, in the video notes, so you will be able to find that. You can also find it on our website, tradeview.com.au. If you do purchase a workshop, it will ask you how you heard about us, so please let us know it's through the Trading Talk videos, so that I know that there's people out there watching them and that they're getting something from it. Okay. If you did want to open an IC Markets account and get up to 25% discount on the spread, like I said in the opening, you can do it here. So again, I'll put the link up there. This is our link. So because we take a high volume of trades, we get rebates and we're able to pass some of those rebates onto you guys. So do check IC Markets out for yourself. I think they're a fantastic broker. We've been trading through them for a long time. And if you open a live account through our link, you'll get some discount on the spread, which is always good. Okay, so well, that's it for my first video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. All the best with your trading. This was video number 1 of Trading Talk by TradeView Investments. My name's Eddie. I'm one of the systems traders there. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to doing episode 2. Thanks very much. Good luck with your trading.